Hello, 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 hello. So, I thought today I would begin looking at the brand new Fryer contest. We've seen a couple before, hopefully. If not, you can check the other videos on my channel. Today I thought I'd go through the 2010 Fryer paper. So for those of you unfamiliar, the Fryer is a 9th grade level contest. It requires written solutions. And yeah, 4 questions, very nice and neat, but expect 9th grade level education style questions. Okay. As usual, try and write these contests ahead of time. There are links in the descriptions that will guide you to these contests, and you can try them under regular contest conditions. So non-programmable calculator. I think you get an hour, or maybe it's an hour and a half to do these contests. You can double check, but really you should try these contests ahead of time. All right, so we can dive right in. Question number 1. Consider the following sequence of figures shown in arrangements of square tiles, or showing arrangements of square tiles. So we just have a box, and then we have a Tetris piece, and then we've inflated our Tetris piece. So 5 is our base, then 3, then 1. 7 is our base, then 5, then 3, then 1. Okay. More figures can be drawn, each having 1 row of tiles more than the previous figure. So figure 5 would have 5 rows of tiles. The new bottom row is constructed by using 2 more tiles than the number of tiles in the bottom row of the previous figure. So here we had 5. We moved this whole thing up 1, added a 4th row, and that 4th row had 5 plus 2 additional boxes. Okay, or tiles, I guess is what they're calling them. Okay, so A part. Figure 4 is cut into 2 pieces as shown. Draw a rearrangement of these 2 pieces, showing how they can be formed into a square having 4 squared equals 16 tiles. So we want to rearrange these 2 pieces to make a square. So you can try them out on your own. What I would recommend you do is you draw down the grid that you want to get, which is a 4x4 grid, and try and color in this smaller piece in some place and see if you can get this bigger piece. I think trial and error is really the best way to do this question. If you have scissors, and I can't remember if scissors are allowed or not, but if not, if they are, you could draw the grid on your on a scrap piece of paper, cut it out, cut out these 2 pieces from the 4x4 grid that we want, and rearrange them on your desk and see how you can get them to try and fit in here. One thing we should probably note, if we're going to try and approach this logically, is that likely these 2 bits are going to form corners. Already we have 4 and we have 4, so this guy has limited choices as to where he can be. He could sort of jut out here, but then we're going to extend beyond the 4x4. Or he could be up here and face out like a flag. That's not going to work. A little bit of trial and error, and if you haven't seen it already, trial and error is really the only way you're going to see it. But for me and for many of you, hopefully, it just sort of pops out of the page and we can just write down our answer. So let's draw our 4x4 grid. Okay, we're going to use different colors to denote our pieces. So the smaller piece, I'm going to put him up in the corner. And the bottom piece, which will make the pale yellow, I guess, matches our notebook color. really, there's not a whole lot else we can do. All we have to do is show an arrangement of these two into a 4x4 grid. That's all we were asked to do. Okay. So B part. Determine the number of tiles in figure 5. Okay, so we have figure 4. We know we just lift that up and insert a new row with 2 more tiles than the bottom row in figure 4. So why don't we just draw out figure 5 and count the number of tiles? There's figure 4 in all its glory. For figure 5, we'll add in 1 new row. He's got 2 extra tiles, 1 on each side. So, counting up the tiles, we can just straight up count them, or we could say, okay, 1 on the first layer, 3 on the next layer, 5 on the next layer, 7 on the next layer, and 9 on the next layer. 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 5 is 9, plus 7 is 16, plus 9 is 25. So figure 5 has 25 tiles. Okay. On to C part. Determine the number of tiles in the bottom row of figure 10. Okay. Well, these figures are created rather methodically, so I have to believe that there's a pattern to the bottom rows. This is just me thinking aloud. So, if I were to say figure 1 has 1 tile in the bottom row, figure 2 has 3, figure 3 has 5, figure 4 has 7, and we know figure 5 has 9, we just figured that out, we might be able to come up with a pattern. So figure 1 has 1 tile in the bottom row, figure 2 has 3, figure 3 has 5, figure 4 has 7 in the bottom row, figure 5 has 9 in the bottom row. So it goes up by 2. So 1, we start out with 1. To get to 2, we go up by 2. 3, we go up by 5. 4, we go up, 3, we go up by 2 to get 5. 4, we go up by 2 to get 7, and so on. So it doesn't take too long to try and figure out a pattern, but really this is just, it's every odd number in sequence, really. It's 1, then 5, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. We'll go 11, then 13, and so on. So we're really counting out odd numbers. So we need a formula for odd numbers so that if we plug in 1, we get 1 out. We could experiment around a little bit, but it's not that hard to see that 2n minus 1 will do. Where n is the figure number. So we get 19 tiles in the bottom row for figure 10. Alright, we have a D part left. Determine the difference between the total number of tiles in figure 11 and the total number of tiles in figure 9. Okay. Well, we know to get the next figure, so if we start at figure 9, to get the next figure, which is figure 10, we lift the whole thing up and just add a new row. Specifically, we add a new row of 19 tiles. That's how we get from 9 to figure 10. How about, how do we get to figure 11 from figure 10? So once we have the difference between figure 11 and figure 10, we add up all the new tiles that we've added, and that gives us 40 new tiles have been added. If we started at figure 9, I have no idea how many tiles there will be, but I know to get to figure 10 we add in 19 more tiles, and then to figure 11 we add in 20 more. So in total, how many new tiles have I added? 40. So figure 11 has 40 more tiles than figure 9. So we get a difference of 40 tiles. And that concludes question number 1. We've done all 4 parts. It's a good start to the contest. I can't wait to see where it goes. And hopefully you'll join me in seeing where it goes as we look at question number 2 in the next video.